So self-confessed serial killer Siyamcela Sombambela will be sentenced today, and he was found guilty of killing 3 women back in 2020. Our reporter Monique Mortlock is at the Woleseley Magistrates Court with more on this. Monique, good morning to you, and what do you have for us on the ground this morning? What can we expect in court?
Tumelo, we know that Siyamcela Sombambela will be sentenced today in the Worcester Magistrates Court. About 3 days ago, he was convicted on 3 counts of murder. He pleaded guilty and entered into a plea and sentencing agreement with the state. And on Wednesday, there were arguments made in court. Obviously, his lawyer is trying to get minimal sentencing of about 15 years for each count, whereas the state is asking for more. The families on Wednesday of those 3 victims, that's Bernardine France, Michelle Pinar and Gazela Minar, they made representations in court on Wednesday during those arguments, and one of the mothers of the victims, that's Bernardine France's mom, Christine Martinez, she became so emotional, and it was so much for her what was happening in court that she actually fainted. Yesterday, we visited the community of Woleseley in Pine Valley to speak to the families ahead of today's sentencing, because since the murders happened in 2020, the community has really banded together to support the families of these women, of these 3 women. And as Christine Martinez, the mother of Bernardine France, as she was speaking to us yesterday in a very emotional interview, she couldn't contain her tears. She said that in the months following the murder of her daughter, and that happened in October 2020, in the months following that murder, she attempted to commit suicide twice. And you could see how difficult it was for her just speaking to us about what happened. And I asked her, how has it been since then, because she says she also resorted to drinking, which is something that she never did before, but she's been trying in recent months to just deal with her emotions and to cope a bit better, because she knew that this day was coming, the day of sentencing, and that she needed to be strong because she wanted to be in court. And she said that this week has hit her especially hard, especially when when the Siyamcela Sombambela entered into that plea agreement, when she and the other 2 families had to make their representations in court. She said it just all became so much for her, and that's what led to her fainting in court on Wednesday, seeing her daughter's killer. She said that the only thing she could focus on when she was in court was just focusing on his hands, and she said she did that because she was trying to understand how could this man who knew her daughter and who knew the other 2 victims, Michelle Pinar and Gazela Minar, how could he have done this? And she just wanted to know what was going on in his mind, why he took her daughter from her. So quite an emotional conversation that I had with Christine Martinez. We will be speaking to her after the sentencing today. She mentioned that she's just happy that the case is finally coming to an end, so that she and her family can find some sort of closure. She also said she's happy that it's coming to an end before Monday, because on Monday, the 21st of February, is when her daughter Bernardine would have turned 23 years old, and she just wanted that day to be for her and her family. The other families who I spoke to, just as emotional, saying that they are hoping that he gets the maximum sentencing. That's why they've all been in court this week every day to ensure that justice prevails. As one mother, the mother of Michelle Pinar, Francis Pinar, she was telling me he's a danger to society and he shouldn't be allowed to roam free. So it's likely that the judge will be taking into consideration all of those representations made by the different families, and this will obviously influence the way the judge hands down sentencing today.
Right, Monique, and you can just see how devastated the family is, especially with the mom saying they're hoping that he doesn't get to roam around freely. One can only imagine what they're going through this time, but we'll be sure to keep up with you, of course, as more developments occur around this case. Monique Mortlock out in Worcester, Magistrates Court, rather, upon that sentencing today.